guys, welcome back to another episode of Dana with the Dana. So today I have a goodie. Sister Souljah versus Bill Clinton. Yes. So this is not the first time that I've done a video referencing Sister Souljah. Very intelligent to this day. But I want to take you back into time. I'm going back to 1992. Yes. Well, before I do, please, guys, hit the like button, share this video, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. So let's get into it. In 1992, Bill Clinton did something that will become political legend. He publicly attacked a young Black woman named Sister Souljah at a Rainbow Coalition event. RIP Reverend Jesse Jackson. And political pundits have been praising him for it ever since. They call it the Sister Souljah Moment, a calculated move where politicians distance themselves from their base to appeal to moderate voters. But here's what they don't tell you. Sister Souljah was right. Bill Clinton was wrong. And the entire political strategy built on this moment is based on a lie. Let's break down what really happened. Who is Sister Souljah?
I stand before you today feeling very confident, steadfast, and powerful. At the same time, I am surprised that as a young African woman, I have impacted and effected the development of not only national politics, but international politics as well. It is very shocking to me that in a time of American economic recession and inner city urban chaos, Democratic presidential contender Bill Clinton has chosen to attack not the issues, but a young African woman who is very well educated, alcohol-free, drug-free, a successful self-employed businesswoman, and a community servant. Considerable time has been spent debating whether America should take seriously the words of a rap artist or so-called entertainers. Let me clarify for the press now who I am. I am Sister Souljah, Sony epic rapper, activist, organizer, and lecturer. I was born in the Bronx in New York City, spent the earlier part of my life there, was raised by my mother with 4 children, was on and off the welfare system for approximately 15 years, lived in government subsidized housing called the projects, and was classified by sociologists as being in the underclass, meaning living below the poverty line in a vicious cycle of poverty that America says cannot be broken. I supplemented my own education in the white American school system by reading African history, which was intentionally left out of the curriculum of American students. By doing so, I was able to become the well-balanced, reassured, and confident woman that I am today. I was a legislative intern at the age of 16 in the United States House of Representatives for the Republican Party and the recipient of the American Legion's Award for Constitutional Oratory and Extemporaneous Discourse. I attended Cornell University Advanced Placement Summer Session. I entered Rutgers University majoring in African Studies and History. While at Rutgers University, I attended the University of Salamanca, studying abroad in Salamanca, Spain. I worked at a medical center in Zimbabwe. I have visited Mozambican refugee camps, traveled throughout the Southern African region. I have also visited and lectured in the former Soviet Union, England, France, Portugal, Finland, Holland. Moreover, at Rutgers University, I was a well-known prolific writer and political commentator in the university newspaper. I attended church in the Bronx in New York City, where my great-grandmother was the pastor who recently died this year at the age of 92. While finishing up at Rutgers University, I was offered a job by Reverend Dr. Ben Chavis at the United Church of Christ Commission for Racial Justice, which is a civil rights firm sponsored by the church. I developed, organized, and financed through hip-hop music a sleepaway summer camp called the African Youth Survival Camp for children of homeless families and ran it successfully for 3 years. I left Rutgers University one semester prior to my graduation. I have spoken on the same platform with Jesse Jackson, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Reverend Ben Chavis, Reverend Dr. Calvin Butts, and Nelson Mandela. As you can see, I am no newcomer to the world of politics and movement.
So before we get into what Clinton said, you need to know who Sister Souljah actually is, because the media certainly didn't tell you. Sister Souljah wasn't just a rapper, she just laid it out. Cornell University graduate, former intern, U.S. House of Representative, Republican Party, might I add. A community organizer who worked with young people in underserved communities. She was the real deal. Well, and she still is the real deal. Let's not talk about her in past tense. So listen to how she describes herself here.
I am an African woman who is for economic, political, empowerment of African people. I will continue to organize young people, to express myself, to be unafraid of the attacks that I have seen. I think some of the whites that I have seen on television that have described themselves as liberals have revealed what a tricky word that is. Because I don't feel that they have come honestly on the issues of African and Latino people, yet they describe and define themselves as liberal candidates.
She wasn't promoting violence. She was promoting economic empowerment, education, and self-sufficiency for Black communities. In April of 1992, Los Angeles erupted after the Rodney King verdict. The Bloods and the Crips rival gangs declared a historic truce. Sister Souljah was there talking to young people about constructive solutions. Then came the Washington Post interview. On May 13, 1992, the Washington Post published an interview with Sister Souljah. In it, she made a statement that will be weaponized against her. If Black people kill Black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people? Sounds terrible, right? That's exactly what Bill Clinton wanted you to think. A month later, after that Washington Post article was released at a Jesse Jackson Rainbow Coalition conference, Clinton said this.
Finally, let's stand up for what's always been best about the Rainbow Coalition, which is people coming together across racial lines. You talked about Mr. Fields from Louisiana that you had here last night, a great role model. We don't have a lot of time to do this. We don't have a lot of time. You had a rap singer here last night named Sister Souljah. I defend her right to express herself through music. But her comments before and after Los Angeles were filled with the kind of hatred that you do not honor today and tonight. Just listen to this, what she said. She told the Washington Post about a month ago, and I quote, "If Black people kill Black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people? So you're a gang member and you normally kill somebody? Why not kill a white person?" Last year she said, "You can't call me or any Black person anywhere in the world a racist. We don't have the power to do to white people what white people have done to us. And even if we did, we don't have that low-down, dirty nature. If there are any good white people, I haven't met them. Where are they? Right here in this room. That's where they are." I know she is a young person, but she has a big influence on a lot of people. And when people say that, if you took the words white and black and you reversed them, you might think David Duke was giving that speech. Let me tell you, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we're not as sensitive as we ought to be. And we have an obligation, all of us, to call attention to prejudice wherever we see it. A few months ago, I made a mistake. I joined a friend of mine and I played golf at a country club that didn't have any African American members. I was criticized for doing it. You know what? I was rightly criticized for doing it. I made a mistake. And I said I would never do that again. And I think all of us have got to be sensitive to that. We can't get anywhere in this country pointing the finger at one another across racial lines. If we do that, we're dead, and they will beat us. Even in Reverend Jackson's new math of this election, it's hard to get to a 34% solution or a 40% solution if the American people can be divided by race.
He compared a young black woman activist to the grand wizard of the KKK. But here's what Bill Clinton deliberately left out: context. Sister Souljah wasn't advocating violence. She was describing the mindsets of young gang members in LA who were already killing each other daily. She was explaining their logic, not endorsing it. It was a rhetorical question meant to expose the absurdity and desperation of the institution. And Sister Souljah made this crystal clear in her response to Bill Clinton.
Community. I am certain that Bill Clinton was unfamiliar with me, my development and work, musical and otherwise. He chose to comment without any investigation whatsoever based on an interview in an ultra-conservative newspaper, The Washington Post, where the reporter came with a preconceived, premeditated angle. And the Post is about as familiar with the experiences of Africans in America, inner city urban youth, and hip-hop as Bill Clinton is. I, however, did not fail to do my research, and my research reveals the following indictment of Bill Clinton's integrity. Number one, Bill Clinton is a draft dodger who writes in a letter, "Thank you for saving me from the draft," and then asserts regularly on a normal basis, "As president, I pledge to maintain military forces strong enough to deter and, when necessary, to defeat any threat to our essential interests. There are certain circumstances in which the president should consider ordering the use of force, when our vital interests or clear commitments are at stake, when we have clear, achievable objectives, and when there is strong support and solemn commitment." So here is a man who feels that it's all right to send your son to fight in the war, but would not fight in the war himself for the principles that he says he believes in. Number two, Bill Clinton talks of morality, but admits that he was a reefer smoker who doesn't inhale. Sister Souljah has never smoked reefer and is completely drug-free. Number three, Bill Clinton says he believes in a strong family unit, but could never quite get his own personal and social behavior together. His treatment and dismissal of Gennifer Flowers is indicative of how he relieves himself from his own personal responsibility and created an emotionally abusive environment to another woman. He seems to be very comfortable attacking women, to Gennifer Flowers. Number four, Bill Clinton says that Sister Souljah is a racist, like David Duke, a well-known Ku Klux Klan member and white supremacist, but was a member in an all-white segregated club up until this year. Bill Clinton portrays himself as compassionate, yet he supports giving prisoners lobotomies and removing a section of their brain. Bill Clinton takes shots at Dan Quayle's intellectual feasibility, yet he has not presented America with any substantive, comprehensive agenda around economic development, foreign policy, budget containment, or social policy. Bill Clinton says that he is not a racist, but he tries to distance himself from the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a candidate who has registered more voters than Bill Clinton, served the interests of the poor blacks, poor whites, poor Latinos, unions, labor, and farms, and by experience, intellect, charisma, is far more qualified for the position than Bill Clinton himself. Therefore, we can conclude that Bill Clinton lacks integrity and paints himself as a staunch patriot, people's servant, a compassionate liberal, a family man, a pro-woman candidate, or a coherent scholar. He lacks integrity in all of those areas. Sister Souljah, on the other hand, was used as a vehicle, like Willie Horton and various other black victims of racism, a poor excuse for an agenda-less candidate. Sister Souljah does not own a gun, has not shot or killed anyone, did not invade Grenada, Panama, Nicaragua, Kuwait, or Angola. Sister Souljah has not ever ordered the National Guard into anyone's community, has not made drug deals with Noriega. Sister Souljah has never been a member of a terrorist organization, has no history of crime whatsoever, has never lynched white people, burned crosses on their lawn, or hung them from trees. Sister Souljah has not systematically denied people the right to study and enjoy their culture in the so-called public educational system.
Wow. So let's be clear about what Sister Souljah was saying. She never killed anyone, never invaded any foreign countries, never lynched people, never created police brutality, never denied anyone their rights. But the U.S. government had done all those things. So who's really promoting violence? So let's get to the real agenda. So why did Clinton do this? The answer is simple. Political calculation. Clinton was trying to win over white moderate voters who were uncomfortable with black activism. By attacking Sister Souljah, he could signal to them, don't worry, I'm not like Jesse Jackson. I'll keep black people in check. And in check he did. See, political strategists loved it. They called it brilliant. Some said it helped him win an election, but did it actually work? According to research from political scientist Seth Massett, there's no evidence that the Sister Souljah moment actually helped Clinton win. Polling from 1992 shows Clinton was already trusted more on racial issues before the Sister Souljah moment. The economy was a deciding factor, not bashing a black activist. So why does this myth persist? Because it gives politicians permission to throw black people under the bus whenever it's politically convenient. For over 30 years, pundits have been telling Democrat politicians they need their own Sister Souljah moment, which is code for distance yourself from Black matters, from white supremacy, from anything that makes white moderates uncomfortable. In 2021, Washington Post columnist Max Boot literally wrote that Joe Biden needed a Sister Souljah moment to boost his ratings. The message is clear. When times get tough, sacrifice Black people. There have been other politicians who used the Sister Souljah moment. Remember Kamala Harris?
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country, right?
No.
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down? That's not acceptable.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
Honey, her wig is wigging. The wig is wigging. Sister Souljah was right. What Sister Souljah actually said about Bill Clinton, she said perfectly. She said Clinton was wrong to compare her to the KKK. She said he was using black culture to get elected while supporting policies that will harm black communities. And she was absolutely right. Let's fast forward into Clinton's presidency, 1994, when Clinton signed the crime bill. 2 years after attacking Sister Souljah, Bill Clinton signed a 1994 crime bill, one of the most devastating pieces of legislation for black communities in modern history. The bill led mass incarceration of black men, created a 3-strike rule, expanded the death penalty, funded prison construction over education. Millions of black boys and men were locked up.
Rodney King said we all have to live together.
Right. Well, I mean, that's not profound.
If you liked it.
I don't think that that's profound. Of course, we all have to live together. The question becomes not ostensible racial harmony, because Bill Clinton says he believes that entertainers should promote racial harmony. I believe not only should we promote racial harmony, but we should promote justice. How can you ask people to unify with people who imprison 25% of the black male population or put them under court supervision? How can you ask people to unify with people who do not prosecute white criminals? How can you ask people to unify people with people who are victims of police brutality, who cannot even get police officers prosecuted properly? So the question becomes not racial harmony, but justice. There must be power sharing, there must be resources, and there must be justice. And then we will have racial harmony.
She was describing the current climate of that time and the future Clinton administration will create. And let's talk about Clinton's troubles that Sister Souljah mentioned earlier in this video. Sister Souljah said Clinton's troubles would carry into his presidency and beyond. She was talking about his character, his treatment of women, his moral failures. Clinton was impeached for lying about his affair with Monica Lewinsky, a 22-year-old intern in 1998.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Miss Lewinsky, I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part for which I am solely and completely responsible.
And in recent years, we learned Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane and visited the Epstein Islands several times. See, Sister Souljah saw who he really was from the beginning. But why does that matter today? The Sister Souljah Moment is still being used as a political playbook today. Every time there's a protest for racial justice, every time Black activists speak up, political consultants whisper, "You need a Sister Souljah moment." It's why Democratic politicians distance themselves from Black issues when polls dip. It's why they're afraid to defend teaching accurate history about racism. The strategy hasn't changed in 30 years. But here's what they don't understand. It doesn't work. When Democrats signal to Black voters that they're expendable, Black turnout drops. Young voters stay home, and Democrats lose elections. So yes, please keep having your Sister Souljah moment, because I want Republicans to keep winning. Racism requires power. She understood what many still refuse to accept. You can't be racist without institutional power. So in conclusion, Sister Souljah was a young Black woman who spoke truth to power. She called out systemic racism, police brutality, and economic injustice. Bill Clinton used her as a political prop to win white votes. Everything she warned about came true. Mass incarceration exploded. Economic inequality worsened. Clinton's character flaws were exposed. The next time you hear a politician or a pundit call for a Sister Souljah moment, remember what it really means. It means sacrificing justice for political convenience. It means silencing Black voices when they become inconvenient. It means repeating the same failed strategy that's been failing for 30 years. Sister Souljah ended her 1992 press conference with these words.
Yes, I am angry, which means that I am sane. Only an uneducated and misguided African person would not be angry at the racist white transgressions of this society. The context in which my statements were made in the Washington Post was this, and I paraphrase, speaking in the mindset and in the voice of a gang member.
Her anger was justified. Her analysis was correct, and her legacy deserves respect. Now, let me just do a quick sidebar here. In these clips, Sister Souljah used the word African, calling Black Americans African. And we have to remember the time in the 90s, because Black Americans, yes, we were proud to call ourselves African Americans, pro-Black, a lot of pan-African, movement and talk. That was a lot of young Black Americans and older, was a lot of Black conscience going on. Yes, we had gangsta rap music, but even the rap music back then had a message of what was going on in Black communities. So we were very aware of the racial climate of that time. So I'm not going to harp on the fact that she used the word African. She goes on to explain why she calls herself and Black Americans Africans, and she has every right to do that. That doesn't dilute or take away anything that this woman has said, because what she said was true. See, she's seen through Bill Clinton, just like a lot of other politicians, and she called him out. And now that we look back at during his time as president, she was absolutely right. But it was a lot of Black Americans that voted for Bill Clinton, that didn't care, that didn't pay any mind to what Sister Souljah was saying. Maybe they dismissed her because she was young, because she was a rap artist. So they didn't care about her community activism. They didn't care what she had to say. Black Americans voted for Bill Clinton because he was a white man they felt that they can trust. And look what happened. And it's sad to say that Black Americans continue to vote that way today in 2026. But now what we see is instead of having a white face, there are a lot of Black faces with white supremacist ideology. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dana with the Data. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and go in the comments section and share your thoughts. Tell me what you think, right? Are you on Bill Clinton's side? I doubt that. Or Sister Souljah? Please share your opinions in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.